It was a bright, sunny afternoon when Keanu Reeves arrived at the prestigious Grand Royale Hotel, a luxury haven known for its world-class service and exclusive clientele. As he walked into the grand lobby, he was greeted with familiar faces, fans and hotel staff alike, all eager to see the Hollywood star in person. But the day would take an unexpected turn. Sandra Bullock, renowned actress and frequent guest at the hotel, had just arrived for a short stay. She was tired from a long day of interviews and needed to relax. However, what seemed like a simple check-in would soon spiral into something far more dramatic. As Sandra approached the front desk, she was greeted by the receptionist, a young woman with a smile that quickly turned to a look of surprise when she saw who was standing in front of her. It wasn't uncommon for celebrities to stay at the Grand Royale, but Sandra Bullock was a Hollywood icon, and this receptionist was visibly... "How may I help you, Miss Bullock?" the receptionist stammered. Sandra nodded and handed over her ID, ready for a smooth check-in. But instead of processing the information quickly, the receptionist took a moment to glance at Sandra's ID, then looked up at her with a raised eyebrow. "I'm sorry," the receptionist said in a tone that caught Sandra off guard. "It seems you don't have a reservation here." Sandra blinked, trying to process the words. "What? There must be a mistake. I booked a room weeks ago." The receptionist looked at the computer screen, then at Sandra. "It doesn't seem like your name is in the system. Maybe you're mistaken." Sandra's face turned red. "I'm not mistaken. I'm Sandra Bullock. I've stayed here multiple times. I think I know where I made my reservation." The receptionist, now with a smug look, shook her head. "Well, Miss Bullock, if you don't have a reservation, then you can't stay here. That's the policy." Sandra's patience was wearing thin, but she tried to remain calm. "I need to speak to the manager." "Unfortunately," the receptionist said with a hint of sarcasm, "the manager is too busy to deal with a simple check-in issue. This public humiliation in front of other guests was too much." Sandra could feel the eyes of the lobby watching her, whispering and judging. She began to turn away, frustrated, but at that moment, Keanu Reeves, who had been quietly observing from across the room, stepped forward. With a calm, collected demeanor, Keanu approached the counter and addressed the receptionist. "Excuse me, I believe you might be misunderstanding the situation," he said, his voice steady but firm. The receptionist looked at Keanu, then at Sandra, clearly nervous now. Keanu cut her off with a slight smile. "Let me help you." "Okay." Without waiting for a response, Keanu swiftly pulled out his phone and called the hotel manager. "Yes, this is Keanu Reeves. I'm standing here with Sandra Bullock. There seems to be an issue with her reservation. Can you assist us?" Within minutes, the manager arrived, looking flustered. After confirming Sandra's reservation, he apologized profusely for the inconvenience. "I'm terribly sorry, Miss Bullock. There was an error on our end. Please allow us to make it right." Sandra, now visibly relieved, turned to Keanu. "Thank you. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't stepped in." Keanu smiled and shrugged. "No problem. We're all human, right?" The receptionist, now deeply embarrassed, stood in stunned silence. The whole lobby had witnessed the incident, but it was Keanu's calm intervention that had shifted the attention and restored order. Everyone had expected Sandra to react with frustration or anger. But instead, Keanu had taken control with kindness and authority. As Sandra and Keanu made their way to the elevator, she couldn't help but laugh softly. "I'm definitely not going to forget this moment." Keanu chuckled. "It's not every day you see someone get publicly humbled at the hotel check-in desk." It was a bizarre and unexpected turn of events, but it was Keanu's unexpected intervention that made the situation end on a positive note, shocking everyone who had witnessed the drama unfold. The receptionist, she would remember the day she tried to challenge Sandra Bullock and how Keanu Reeves came to the rescue. As Sandra and Keanu stepped into the elevator, the tension seemed to dissolve, replaced by a sense of relief and a touch of amusement. Sandra glanced at Keanu with a smile that was both grateful and slightly playful. "I can't believe that happened," Sandra said, shaking her head. "I mean, of all the things, getting humiliated by a receptionist. I thought I'd seen it all." Keanu gave a small laugh, leaning casually against the elevator wall. "It happens to the best of us. But honestly, I think you handled it well. Sandra raised an eyebrow. Handled it well. I was about to lose it in front of everyone. That receptionist was a piece of work. Keanu nodded sympathetically. Yeah, I could see that. But honestly, I think the only thing that would have made it worse is if you had let it escalate. And you didn't. Sandra smiled at the compliment, but there was a touch of mischief in her eyes. I just wasn't expecting to be treated like that. The nerve of some people. Keanu chuckled again. Tell me about it. I've had my fair share of bizarre hotel moments, but nothing quite like that. As the elevator ascended, Sandra's mood lightened even further, and she found herself reflecting on the strange turn of events. The elevator dinged and they stepped out onto the penthouse floor, where Sandra's suite awaited her. But before they parted ways, Sandra turned to Keanu with a mischievous grin. You know, she said, I think I owe you a drink for saving me back there. Keanu paused, considering the offer. I wasn't trying to be a hero, he said with a shrug. But sure, a drink sounds good. Sandra winked. How about I make it up to you with a dinner invite? I can't let you get away with just being a good Samaritan. You deserve something more for stepping in. Keanu smiled, his usual calm demeanor still intact. A dinner sounds like a great idea, but only if you promise not to have any more check-in drama. Sandra laughed. Deal. No more drama for me today. You've already seen enough of it. They exchanged a few more words as they walked down the hallway before Sandra reached her suite. She turned to Keanu once more, a smile still on her face. Thanks again. Seriously, Keanu gave her a nod. Anytime. Enjoy your stay, Sandra. As Sandra entered her room, she couldn't help but shake her head, still in disbelief at how her afternoon had gone. What had started as a simple check-in had turned into an unexpected spectacle. But at least it ended on a high note, thanks to Keanu. Meanwhile, downstairs in the lobby, the receptionist stood in front of the front desk, her hands trembling slightly. She had seen Keanu Reeves step in and fix the situation, and the embarrassment of her mistake lingered heavily in the air. She wasn't sure how to face her colleagues after that, after all. Not every day did the Hollywood star Keanu Reeves come to the rescue of a guest. Word quickly spread through the hotel about what had happened, and the receptionist's reputation was damaged. The staff murmured amongst themselves about the incident, with many expressing shock at how things had unfolded. The manager, after having personally apologized to Sandra Bullock, took a moment to address the staff about the importance of professional conduct. Every guest, no matter who they are, deserves respect and proper service. He emphasized, it's important we all learn from this. Later that evening, Sandra and Keanu met in a quiet, dimly lit restaurant inside the hotel, where they shared stories over dinner. The evening was full of laughter, with Sandra joking about her unfortunate hotel check-in experience. Keanu, in his typical understated way, shared a few tales of his own, from awkward fan encounters to bizarre press events. By the end of the night, both of them were relaxed, enjoying each other's company. And as they parted ways at the hotel's entrance, Sandra realized that sometimes it takes the most unexpected moments to make an ordinary day unforgettable. And for Keanu, helping out a fellow celebrity in a sticky situation was just another day of being the quiet, humble hero, whether he wanted to be or not. The next morning, Sandra awoke to the soft golden light streaming through the windows of her luxurious penthouse suite. Despite the chaotic events of the day before, she felt surprisingly at ease, a sense of calm washing over her. She had woken up to messages from friends and colleagues, all expressing their disbelief at the check-in incident. But more importantly, there was a message from Keanu. Hey, hope you slept well after all the drama. If you're up for a coffee later, I'll be in the lobby. No check-in issues this time, I promise. Keanu. Sandra smiled as she read the message. The whole situation, in hindsight, seemed almost comical. She appreciated that Keanu had taken the time to follow up, and she definitely wanted to catch up with him after their dinner the night before. The idea of a coffee seemed like a perfect way to ease into the day. After a quick shower and a fresh outfit, Sandra made her way downstairs. As she entered the hotel lobby, she spotted Keanu sitting by the large marble fountain, his casual yet confident posture immediately drawing attention. He looked up as she approached and greeted her with a smile. Morning, Sandra, he said with a twinkle in his eye. Good morning, Sandra replied, sitting down across from him. I must say, I wasn't expecting a morning after coffee with you, but I'm glad we're doing this. Keanu chuckled, his calm demeanor making everything feel effortless. You seemed like you needed it. And besides, it's not every day you get to rescue someone from a hotel debacle. Sandra smiled warmly. I can't thank you enough. You were the calm in the storm yesterday. They chatted for a while, sharing stories about their respective careers. Keanu, ever humble, downplayed his massive success, talking more about his love for motorcycles and philosophy than his role in blockbuster action movies. Sandra, in turn, talked about her recent projects and how she had learned